and welcome back to another part of Design Your Own Level tutorial. In this particular video, what we will be doing is creating a chair. Up until now, this will probably be our most complex model that we've created for this tutorial. So it is going to be a fairly long process, so just bear with me and let's get started. So the first thing we want to do here is I'm going to hit Shift C just to make sure my view is centered. Shift A, we're going to add a circle. We're going to give it 10 vertices, and then we're going to tab to go into edit mode. We're going to go into the front view, and we're going to extrude this up. You can see the normals are already inverted, so I just want to select everything, hit Control N so that everything is calculated correctly. Then I'm going to go into my edit mode, face select mode, and I'm going to select the side that actually lines up with the X and the Y axis. So this one over here. I'm going to hit E to extrude. I'm going to drag it out 4 units, or almost 4 units, and then I'm going to scale it down. I think somewhere along the lines of that. And then I'm going to move it down. And then if we look from the top and the side, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to hit Control R. I'm going to add 2 loop cuts. And I'm just going to move them up. So you see it gives kind of like a slight curve. Then one more loop cut in the front over here. We're going to do it from about there. Going to go into the face select mode. And I'm going to hit E to extrude and then just drag this down. And then what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to rotate it. And then hit Shift S and snap selection to grid. Actually think we might want smaller grid spacing, so I'm going to move it just this side to about there, and then hit snap selection to grid. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So what we're going to do from here, actually, I think I want to make that line up, but that's not too important, so we're just going to leave it as is. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go back into face select mode, and I'm going to select all these edges, all except our main one and one next to it, and I'm going to delete the faces. Then what you want to do is tab to go into object mode, hit Shift D to duplicate, and then we're going to hit R to rotate, and by 72 degrees. So that's 72 degrees. The reason why it's 72 degrees is because effectively we want to do a 360 degree loop, and we have 5 edges that we want to create. So you divide 360 by 5 and you get 72. So we're going to select both of these, hit Shift D again, rotate by 72, and then rotate by 72 again. Select this one and then rotate, let's just duplicate it first, and then rotate by 72 degrees. And then there we go, we actually have all our legs set up already. It might look a little bit long, but that's okay for now. Then I'm just going to select all of them in object mode, hit Control J to join them, go into edit mode, select everything, and then just here at the bottom, remove doubles. You'll see that it has removed 10 vertices. Essentially, where these models were all separate parts and kind of the vertices lined up with one another, those all joined, and then the duplicates were just removed. Okay, so that is that part done. And what we're going to do now is I want to go into the edge select mode, and I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to right click. Do the same over here. Essentially, we want to select all these top parts. The reason why I'm doing it after I've duplicated this is because once we do our bevel, which I want to do now, it is going to create like a corner there, which is difficult to link up to one another once you have duplicated the model. So just bear that in mind. And then I'm just going to select all of these. Okay, that looks okay. Actually, I think effectively we're going to select almost every single edge that we possibly can. So let's just carry on with this. Except obviously that edge over there and a couple of the other ones. So Now you can do this one by one, you're more than welcome to, but I would like to keep a uniform scale between the model, just so that everything looks the same. So that is why I'm doing it like this. Okay, and I think I have everything selected. Then I'm just going to hit Control B to bevel, and we're just going to do like a slight bevel. Here we go. So now we actually have like a nice smooth edge. So if we go into smooth shading, you'll see what that looks like. That looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. And then what we're going to do is now we can create the wheels. So if you look back at their particular model, wheels on a chair normally has like this clip that holds onto the wheels, and then it's got a centerpiece where the wheels connect. What you see with this one over here is that this silver piece over here like completely encircles the wheel, meaning effectively with this chair, this wheel is like grinding on that metal piece over there, which looks kind of funny. It sounds like it's weird, but once again, it's something from a game design perspective. Are you really going to examine the chair all the way up close like this? Probably not. So you focus your details to just kind of like trick the eye to make it think that those are actual wheels. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a circle, and I think actually we can keep it at 10 vertices. We're going to then just scale it down, and I'm going to drag it off, and then I'm going to rotate it. Actually, I think I wanted to line up with this one over here, so I'm going to rotate it all the way over there. Kind of scale it down until you kind of like get the size that you want. And then I'm going to select it, Alt select the whole thing. I'm going to extrude it all the way over like that. And then what we can do is we can hit extrude again and then just scale. I think we're going to scale on the Z axis first and then on the Y axis. So we kind of get like our wheel going. And that is that part of the wheel done. So what we can do now is we can hit E to extrude, and we can drag this part out. And do the same with this side. E to extrude, drag this part out. And then again E, and then Control M to merge at center. And the same with this one, E, Control M to merge at center. Now what we can actually do is select that part over there and maybe then just move it slightly out so it actually looks like a wheel. It is actually a wheel. But now you see this is the silver metal part I was talking about, the outside area. So what we can do for it now is essentially we can delete these vertices. I think those might, let's just delete the faces. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same with these ones over here. I'm going to delete the faces. And I am going to take into the vertex select mode. I'm going to take these, I'm going to fill it. I'm going to take these, fill it, these, and fill it, and so on. Oops, which one did I select over there? Okay, fill it. And there we go. So now you can see our wheel looks slightly better than the one inside of Mirror's Edge, but you kind of have to think to yourself, are you really going to notice that additional detail? If not, then why bother? But we put it in anyway. So now all that I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift D. I just want to see something. Okay. What we can do now is, because essentially we want to duplicate it so that it goes onto every point over here, but it's going to be a fairly long process if we have to like duplicate one and drag it off and then try and rotate it. So what you can do from here is I can just quickly see on the side here. I am going to separate this part. You can hit P, and we're going to separate by selection. I'm going to select it, and then you'll notice that its pivot point is over there. So if we hit Shift D now, we rotate by 72 degrees, you'll see that there we go. So now it's the same process, Shift D, rotate by 72, 72, and then the last one, Shift D, rotate by 72. And then we can actually select everything in our scene here and then just join them up. And we can later rotate these wheels if we really want them, or scale them up a little bit. I think scaling might be required, so I'm just going to select them and then just... So I think actually what we're going to do is, let's select all of these. And we go back to just having the one, which we're going to separate again. And there we go. And then I'm just going to go and scale it up. Okay, I'm going to have to set its origin point to the center of the mass so that I can scale on the mass's axis. And there we go. The wheels are a little bit pointy, so I'm going to move that up like so. And then I'm going to set the origin to the 3D cursor, which is in the center, and then I'm going to do the same, Shift D, rotate 72 degrees. Alright, so now we should have larger wheels, should be slightly happier with it, should look better. Yeah, there we go. That looks, in my mind, significantly better than what it did before. And then this is the base of our chair essentially complete. One thing we're just going to do is select it over here. We're going to hit E to extrude, Alt M, and we're going to merge it at the center. You probably will never see that part, so I'm not too concerned about that. And then this one as well, E to extrude, Alt M, merge at center. Actually, this one, we don't want to merge it at the center, we want to scale it in. So we want to get it to somewhere around about there. And then we're going to hit E to extrude again. And we're going to extrude it upwards. And now you'll notice that it's got these slight corners which look a little bit strange. So if we want everything to be part of the same base on the chair, we can go ahead with it, or we can add a separate cylinder, which I think might be the best solution, because we want a slightly bit more detail that doesn't look so blocky on this part over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to add a circle. Actually, I want a circle with 16 vertices, so it's a bit more round. I'm going to move it up. Then I'm going to scale it in. So it just like kind of meets up with the outside area of this section over here. Then I'm going to drag it down. It doesn't have to quite line up, but what I want to do is maybe just move it like 1 unit below. And then E to extrude again. And then this is going to depend on how high you want your chair to be. So that looks okay. E to extrude, we're going to scale it in. And then E to extrude again. There we go. Now, normals are inverted again. There we go. That should look okay. Let's enable smooth shading. That looks pretty good. We can maybe, if you want, you can bevel these corners and add additional detail if you really want to. It's not required. So I think that looks okay for what we want to create. So that is the bottom part of our chair complete. I'm just going to call an end to this video right now so that it doesn't get too boring. What we're going to do in the next video is we're going to start creating the top part of the chair as such. It's over here. And we're going to use Bezier curves to do that, to make it slightly easier. So if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, you can leave a dislike. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.